Hey, all, and welcome to this week's episode of the Mike Muldoon podcast. I'm your host, Mike Muldoon, and back stateside. And once again, I'm here, to encourage you to silence the inner and external voices holding you back and, take action. And, I'm here to help you work through some of those other challenges you might be facing in your daily lives that is, stopping you from living your best life. So, as I often say, life is meant to be lived, not merely existed in. So, we're not meant to live, some passive existence, but to be proactive in life and, living a life that we design for ourselves. So I guess this week I want to talk about, I know some of you are struggling, feeling lost, not sure what to do. Or maybe you do know, but you just won't do it. See, sometimes the hardest decision to make, do I stay or do I go? Or, do I push forward or do I stop? Sometimes in life, the only way really to move forward is take a step backwards. And for many, that can be incredibly scary. There's a pretty good chance that you've heard that phrase, taking a step backwards to move forward. It's often used as like a metaphor to describe situations where, we temporarily move away from a problem or a challenge so that it can lead to like a better overall progress or, a better understanding of something in the long run. But see, if we all hear it and we've heard stories of countless people who have done it and have become better for it, then why don't we, just believe that it'll be the same way for us? Why don't we believe that if we take a step backwards or step out of our comfort zone on something, why sometimes do we have a hard time believing that it'll be in our best favor, especially when we've seen so much evidence to prove that case? And, the simple answer for that, it's fear. People fear change and they have a natural inclination to, seek stability and familiarity in their lives, because with change, there's always this uncertainty. There's this unknown, which can, for some trigger anxiety and discomfort, even for myself, anytime I make change, it's not like, oh, boom, change. Yeah, this is simple. There's some anxiety, so just discomfort. But if you listen to my last week's episode where I talk about, sometimes you got to move through the uncomfortable to get to the amazing. So like I said, I know firsthand right now, if you've been listening to me the last couple of weeks, you know that I walked away from a pretty good job, pretty, very, very well-paying job, kind of stuff that most people don't do. But I did it because I wanted to continue to work on the design of life that I want to live, which is to continually spending more time in my coaching practice as well as building my podcast. And I had to take a big step backwards in order, to hopefully continue to move forward. So the thing is, as human beings, we're creatures of habit. We tend to find comfort in routines and things that are predictable in our lives. And when we alter any of that, any alteration to that sort of that status quo disrupts this sense of control we have in our lives, leading us to fear, of all the different consequences that might come with it. Change often, demands adaptation and effort. It requires us to sort of step out of our comfort zones. And this could lead to feelings of, incompetence and inadequacy in our lives. And the fear of failure or not being able to meet expectations, can be paralyzing and deter people from, making any sort of changes or embracing the changes they need to make. Stepping back could be, making an enormous decision in your life that might disrupt your world, such as, you're not happy in a relationship and you should go, but you don't because the fear tells you maybe, you can't go on alone. You might not be able to make it alone, or, there might not be somebody else for you. Or, you should be living more within your means, but you're too scared to drop that, to start living within your means because, maybe you're driving a fancy car, but God forbid you save some money to put it somewhere else where, trying to get to a life where you're trying to design for yourself and driving that ugly car because maybe you have an image issue. You're worried about the way people are looking at you, or you want to start a new business, but you also got this full-time job that you can't leave because you have too many bills and you're too proud to move back home with your mom or your dad, whom, might welcome you to help you save money to give you more freedom to go ahead and build this job. But, you're so concerned about what others might think of you suddenly, oh, he went from his place to living at home. And you're so concerned about being looked at as a failure. Or maybe you're running a business, you're so hyper focused on it being one way and it's not working and you need to pivot, but you can't bring yourself to do it, viewing all that time and energy already spent being wasted. So you hold on to it. No matter what it is that's holding you back, here's the thing. Making a change and stepping back, you're not a failure. You see, when you're trying to better yourself to improve your situation, you're already a winner. Because what you're really saying is that you won't quit. There was a quote that I put on my Instagram this week. It was, I saw it and it was definitely, something I can relate to because it ties into one of my favorite quotes, but it was by Benjamin Franklin. And he said that most men die at 25. But we just don't get around to burying them until they're 75. And it's kind of like one of my other favorite quotes by Sidney Smith. He's who basically, and I've talked about this quote in the past. I've got it on my walls. It's one of my favorites. It says, a great deal of talent is lost to the world for a want of a little courage. Every day sends to their graves obscure men whose timidity prevented them from making a first effort. In short, both of them are saying that most people don't try or just give up on life. So, be open, step back if you must. I'm not somebody sitting there telling you need to do it. I'm somebody who's living it myself. That's what I'm here for, to show you by example. I didn't start this podcast as an uber successful person that you sometimes see and they want to tell you about, oh, this is all the things I did to get there. I'm here. I'm doing it. I'm living it. Okay. See, the thing is, if you're willing to step back, it's going to give you so many opportunities to really move forward. Anytime you step back from something, right, you're going to gain perspective. So let's just say you step back from a situation, from a relationship, you get away from that relationship and the emotions that are intertwined with it. You're able to start seeing the bigger picture and how it might have been affecting your life, holding you back from your life. Or let's just say you're running a business and, you're able to step back and pause for a moment. You can usually start identifying potential pitfalls and see new opportunities that may not have been so apparent to you when you were sort of deeply immersed in the details of the current direction you were moving in. And the thing about it, when you take a step backwards, it can provide an opportunity to learn from past mistakes, failures, right? You can sit there and look at that relationship or whatever whatever position you're in, and you can look at what was going wrong. What did I miss, right? A lot of times, especially in relationships, there were some red flags up front. You just chose not to see them, or you just chose to look past them. But in business or in any of this stuff, it's like you can see what went wrong, and then you can start making adjustments. Maybe you have to work on yourself. Maybe you got to work on a better business plan. No matter what it is, you can make the adjustments, and you can develop better, and then eventually it'll lead to better outcomes in the future. And also sometimes when you step back, you just may realize that the current path is just not aligned with the long-term goals and values you have. You might realize that you're sick and tired of pretending to be somebody you're really not, driving high flashy cars or doing this or whatever it is, and step back and realize that's not who I am. And this isn't getting me to where I want to be. Same thing with running your business. You might realize the current path you're on is not going to get you around, or it's not lining up with your goals and your values. That relationship you're in, it's not lining up with your goals. It's not lining up with your values. This realization can help you sort of refocus your efforts on what truly matters, and it'll move you forward in a direction that's just more meaningful and fulfilling towards your life. Look, taking a step backwards, whether it's literal or like a metaphorical step, all of it provides valuable insights. It can lead to greater self-improvement. It moves you forward, and it's more effective for you in the long run. A lot of times people don't want to move backwards because, it's about time. All right. A lot of it's about time. I've worked so hard to get to this point. I can't now stop doing what I'm doing, even though they know it'll move them forward. And here's my thing. Okay. This is what I always say. When somebody says to me, well, if I do this right now, it's going to take me 2 more years. Well, guess what? 2 more years is coming, whether or not you like it. So the real question comes down to is, how do you want to arrive? It's coming. Do you want to arrive in that next 2 years in the same position you're in right now going, gosh, I wish I would have done this 2 years ago? Or do you want to arrive that 2 years from now in a better position, looking back and going, thank gosh, I did this 2 years ago? Because time is coming whether or not you want it to. The question is, how do you want to arrive there? So change is an inevitable part of life, people. And while fear is a natural thing for us, but learning to navigate and embrace change, this leads to personal growth. And this is going to open up new opportunities to you. So sometimes you got to go backwards to go forwards. All right. That's what I got for you guys today. So, again, I'm back stateside. It's good to be back. Thank you for, again, tuning in this week. I look forward to your questions, your comments. And as always, you can find me on MikeMuldoonLC.com. Check out my website. Try to keep that updated for you. Feel free to book sessions there with me. Obviously, the first one is just a consultation. Let's talk, see if we can even work together. And, as always, going into the weekend, I want to just wish you the best. I want you to wish you, a safe weekend. And, as always, I got nothing but love for you.